parents, family members, and friends. On behalf of the senior class of 2021, I would like to welcome you to the 133rd annual commencement exercise of Marshall High School. Tonight, 169 students will be participating in the ceremony, with 173 students graduating. Of our 169 graduates, 2 will be or have already enlisted in the United States military. Would students Sa'e Ne Sa Kerpa and Sean Kermeans please stand? Tonight, 69 students will be graduating with honors status. In your commencement bulletin, please note that academic achievement is recognized in 2 categories. 1 asterisk indicates a student who is graduating with honors status. Students who are graduating with honors have earned a cumulative grade point average between 3.50 and 3.89. This is signified by the wearing of the white graduation cords. During the 4th quarter, students Emma Klinken, Kayla Morris, and Spencer Vang also earned honors status and should be noted in your bulletin. Would students who are graduating with honors please stand and be recognized at this time? Two asterisks indicate a student who is graduating with highest honors. These students have also earned a cumulative grade point average of 3.90 and above. This is signified by the wearing of the orange graduation cords. Would students who are graduating with highest honors please stand and be recognized at this time? At this time, we will be recognizing the students of the class of 2021 who have completed their high school career with a final grade point average that ranks them in the top 10 of their graduating class. Students will be acknowledged in alphabetical order. Students, please stand as I read your name. Mr. Jack Bly, Mr. Noah Dunn, Miss Josie Holland, Miss Ailani Hernandez, Mr. Bryce Lance, Mr. Chamika Wakama, Miss Kaylee Stuckey, Miss Hannah Verkindren, Miss Zoe Vorbach. Students, congratulations on your academic achievements. The valedictorian of the class of 2021 is Miss Morgan Hart. Morgan, please come forward. I would also like to draw your attention to the first few pages of the commencement bulletin. The awards and scholarships earned by seniors are listed on these pages. On May 19th, 140 local scholarships and awards totaling over $182,000 were presented to our seniors at the annual Pride in the Tiger Foundation Senior Scholarship Ceremony. We thank all of the sponsors for their generosity and congratulate our recipients. At this time, I would like to recognize some of the individuals who contribute to the success of students both in and out of the classroom. A special thank you goes out to the parents and family members of these seniors. It has taken many years of your guidance, support, patience, and love to help these young men and women successfully reach this point in their lives. Because of your contributions, they will walk across this stage and become graduates of Marshall High School. Will the parents of these students please stand and be recognized? Would members of all public and private Marshall school systems, including board members, teachers, birth through grade 12, support staff, and administrators who are present tonight, please stand and be recognized. Tonight, I would like to extend a special thank you and heartfelt goodbye to the members of our Marshall High School faculty who are moving on or retiring from Marshall High School. Teachers, please stand as I read your name and remain standing. Miss Shayna Smith, 5 years at Marshall High School. Dr. Tony Bladholm, 20 years at Marshall High School, 28 years overall. Mrs. Kathy Pearson, 16 years at Marshall High School and Maytech, 32 years overall. Mrs. Sharon Jensen, 7 years in Marshall, 33 years overall. Mrs. Cheryl Jeska, 8 years in Marshall, 40 years overall. Mrs. Marcia Ivers, 36 years in Marshall, 44 years overall. And in the top right, Mr. Wayne Ivers, 38 years in Marshall, 44 years overall. Collectively, these individuals represent 226 years of experience in service to the students and families in Marshall and Southwest Minnesota. We thank you on behalf of the students, the community, and the school district, and the staff of Marshall High School. We thank you for your dedication and service and the care for the young adults at Marshall High School throughout the years. Thank you. Those assisting with the ceremonies this evening are members of the Marshall School Board. These members include School Board Chairman Mr. Jeff Chapman and Director Mr. Bill Swope. Also assisting with the ceremony this evening is Marshall Public School District Superintendent Mr. Jeremy Williams, Marshall High School faculty members Mrs. Hannah Tuft and Mr. Hayden McKittrick. I would also like to thank the members of the concert band under the direction of Mr. Ivers, along with the senior members of the concert choir under the direction of Mrs. Cheryl Jeska for providing the music for tonight's graduation ceremony. Thank you also to the Marshall Community Access Channel, Studio One TV, for broadcasting tonight's ceremony. At this time, I would ask our graduation speakers for the class of 2021 to please come forward. Our speakers are Ms. Mild Dew, Mr. Ryan Schroeder, Ms. Aubrey Biella, and Ms. Zoe Vorbach.
Good afternoon, friends, family, and class of 2021. My name is Mild Dew, and I think I speak for most of my peers when I say it's been a long journey, but here we are. 13 years of school, and we have finally made it. We've watched others walk the stage and accept their diploma, looking forward to the day it would be us. We've made memories, had laughs, had our ups and downs here at MHS, but now it's time to say goodbye to not only MHS, but our childhood. Let's take a trip back to the past. It is 2008, you take a deep breath, and you walk through the doors. It's the morning of your very first day. Some filled with excitement to begin school for the very first time, some nervous, not wanting to leave our parents. We may not have known it then, but that was the day we started the most important 13 years of our lives. When we were young, they assumed we knew nothing and that we've got nothing in our brains. So over these years, we learned how to spell, write, share with others, how to work with each other, but most important of all, we learned how to make friends. Friends came and went, some would last a lifetime, but some would not last the year. Zoom passed 5 years, and here we were, ready to start middle school. We had finished our elementary years, and were ready to take that step forward. Excited to see another 4 years pass, and could not wait to get to high school. 8th grade year was exciting. We were the big fish, and were well on our way to high school. Walked in, shocked by the link leader surrounding us and just wondering what was going on. This was it, the first day of our last 4 years. It's our freshman year, and we're going to be here for the next 4 years. You'd say hi to your friends you hadn't seen in a while, try and stay out of everyone's way. We learned how to navigate through the school, the busy lunch line, and try to figure everything out. We didn't know what we wanted, don't ask us yet, because we were still trying to figure it out. We made new friends, and some friendships were broken. It felt like time flew by, and just yesterday, we were on the swing sets with our friends, trading silly bands and discussing Club Penguin. But reality set in as sophomore year rolled around, and we had opportunities to take AP classes and honor classes. That year, there was much snow, but when isn't there in Minnesota? We had many snow days, and when the time for spring sports came around, there still wasn't green grass to be seen. Summer that year felt different. Summer was spent out of town, indoors, maybe even walking Camden in the afternoon. It felt weird not having the class of 2019 around us walking to school that first day of junior year. Not being able to see them in the halls felt surreal, knowing it would be us one day, walking across that stage and not knowing whether or not we would see all these people from high school again. Junior year was an important year. We had ACTs coming up and had to start figuring out what we wanted to do with our lives because we all know some of us could not have figured it out in the last 2 years. But 2020 sure took us for a spin. There was the World War III crisis that soon turned into a meme, the death of Kobe Bryant, killer hornets, and most important of all, COVID-19. COVID-19 started as a meme and jokes were thrown all around. We didn't know how bad it would really get. It felt like making memes were the only way we were coping. It took away half our junior year. We left school for a 2-week break that soon turned into a 3-month break. We were happy, free, confused, and lonely all at the same time. We got to sleep in half the day during the break and felt free from school, but disappointment came creeping in when we realized we'd be losing out on other things. The boys' basketball team lost out on going to state, BPA lost out on nationals, robotics lost out on state, and speech lost out on sections, states, and nationals. We were not able to go to prom for the very first time and lost out on spring sports and activities. We were not able to take our ACTs, which would have helped us deciding on our colleges. New experiences of distance learning. We were all bored, also tired of everything. That year really tested our endurance. Most of us probably looked forward to our senior year because maybe, just maybe, we'd have a normal year. After junior year, I'm sure all of us were looking forward to making our senior year our best year yet. Only 1 year left and we would be done. Although the pandemic was still present, we were still experiencing the normalcy of the last times. Last homecoming, last game, last meeting, last class, last everything. We experienced prom for the first, and maybe last time. We decided on whether we would go to college or not, and what we're gonna do with our lives after high school. Here we are, 13 years of education leading up to this, ready to walk across the stage, accept our diploma in front of everybody. We've made it this far, but we could not have done it without help. Thank you to Mr. Jones, Mr. Frazee, Deb, Kelly, and everyone in the office on making sure we are successful in our endeavors. Thank you to our counselors for helping us figure out high school, our nurse and Officer Van Louis to make sure we are healthy and safe, and Jan for helping us coordinate it all. We could not have done it without you guys. Thank you to the cafeteria staff, making sure we had food and clean trays and silverware, to the janitors for cleaning up after our messes. Thank you to our peers for encouraging each other to be better, to our parents who supported us and want to see us successful. Thank you to our coaches for teaching us skills, not just for the sport, but also life. Most of all, thank you to our teachers. Thank you for never giving up on us, never letting us down, never turning around and deserting us. Congratulations, class of 2021. Be proud of yourself because you got yourself here. Our education leading up to this bittersweet goodbye, and it's a sad picture. The final blow hits you. This is it. Looking at it now, it all seems so simple. 12 years and boom, we're done. But it wasn't. Hard work and determination led us up to where we are now. We've made it this far, and it is well deserved. I wish everyone the best in their future as we are trying to find a place in this world. Long story short, we survived high school. Congratulations again, class of 2021. Here's to the next chapter. In the words of Elle Woods, we did it!
Thank you for the introduction, Mr. Jones. My name is Ryan Schroeder. I am glad to see everyone here. I was hesitant to expect that we would be in person for this event, and I'm sure many of you were too. That feeling of anxiety about the future is an unfortunate one, and for the class of 2020, it is one that we have been familiar with for a long time. Today, for just a few minutes, I'm going to ask you all to abandon that feeling, because today is a moment we have earned to look at our past and say, we lived, and we have overcome. It would be easy to list off the difficult and unique circumstances our class has found itself in during our 4 years at high school. Almost a month gone from school due to snow days our sophomore year. The end of our junior year turned upside down with COVID-19, and our senior year warped beyond recognition with the introduction of novel new words like virtual and social distancing into our everyday vocabulary. As Mr. Smith said to me multiple times, these past few months have felt like a bad science fiction movie. I could spend this whole speech talking about what we lost, but I do not want to do that. I do not believe that people are defined by their flaws. Likewise, I do not believe people are defined by the difficulties they have faced. We are not a lost generation who had to sit idle as a world on fire passed us by. We are not stunted and doomed to fail. Those are the words of the cynics, people who gave up a long time ago and are content with doing nothing. We endured some of the worst that life had to offer, and we persevered. And sometimes we were able to persevere with a smile. Not that you could actually see each other smile, unless you had a face shield. Jokes aside, this year reminded me that any hardship can be endured if you have good people in your life. Every day I saw my peers and teachers smile, make jokes, make conversation, ask each other how we were doing, anything to keep a sense of community alive. When teams would crash during a meeting, we would chuckle and be surprised that it did not happen sooner. When Schoology was down, an assignment day turned into a lecture day. When plans A through C fell through, we picked up the pieces and made plan D. Because what were we supposed to do? Were we supposed to throw down our tablets and books in defiance of it all? Were we supposed to be miserable because it was appropriate for the situation? No. It's ridiculous to even imagine. We had no choice whether or not this pandemic was going to change our year, but we did have a choice in how we were going to face it. No force on earth could make us abandon our optimism. We wondered how worse it would get, but not if we should stop trying. We never let reality crush our spirits. Even though we did not always understand why we carried on, we did so anyway. When things did get worse, which they usually did, not that any of us are surprised by that anymore, we shrugged and did the best we could. Perseverance is one of those words you can find littered all over self-help books and motivational posters. People use it to inspire, and maybe it brings to mind the image of an athlete going the extra mile or somebody reaching the top of a mountain. In my experience, perseverance is rarely that dramatic. For most of us, perseverance meant getting up every morning, going to school or work, wearing a mask, following guidelines, and accepting that sometimes the things that we want are not the things that we can have. Nothing stays the same forever, not even the hard times. And when our lives turn around for the better, we will be able to appreciate all that is to come because we know what we have to lose. We have grown because we have stayed the line and weathered the storm that is life.
Hi, I am Aubrey Biella. First off, I want to share how grateful I am that we can all be here today together to celebrate the class of 2021. There's no better way to cap off this crazy year. Not many people can say that they started kindergarten in an economic recession and ended senior year around the same way, but the class of 2021 can. We truly had a school experience like none other. Each milestone marked with a presidential election. 13 years ago, nobody would imagine that the little kindergartners starting school would have to endure so much in their senior year, but through it all, we persisted. Elementary school started with the presidential election, and your friends were those in your class. We were just a bunch of kids oblivious to the big world and what was to come in life. Elementary school ended with yet another presidential election. Middle school was filled with lots of drama and two-week relationships. 8th grade, we finally got computers and we felt like we were on the top of the world. And yes, there was another presidential election. But then it was time to move on to high school. Freshman year, 2017. You walk into your class meeting and see some familiar faces, but also some new. Your Link Crew leaders tell you that your friend group you have now will probably not stay the same, but that is not the only thing that has changed. Freshman year was great. School dances and getting to be in the student section were big highlights for me, but we also went to school in fear. The first 21 weeks of 2018 had 23 school shootings. I remember sitting in class and someone saying that there had been another shooting and my heart would just drop. Yes, this is a very troubling topic, but it became part of our lives. New safety procedures like Alice were practiced and new safety materials were put into classrooms. Again, something that many people did not think would ever be a reality. But we put our fears aside and persisted. Sophomore year was filled with lots of snow. I'm not gonna lie, waking up and being told that there was a snow day was very exciting, but I regret that excitement. Overall, it was a good year besides missing a bunch of days due to snow. But then we became upperclassmen. Junior year started off so normal. We had sporting events, school dances, lots of homework, and we went to school every day. Besides school, people spent their time working, playing sports, hanging with friends, and making lots of TikToks. We all took for granted how good we had it. 2020 started off with the news of the coronavirus spreading and a few cases popping up in the States. Then came March. We went into distance learning, and sports were canceled. We stayed optimistic, thinking that it would be over before senior year. But little did we know, our junior year became our year of last, too. Senior year started in the hybrid model. It was bittersweet going to your first day of high school with only half your grade, wearing masks, and navigating the hallways like streets. Oh yeah, the tension with COVID-19 and another presidential election were also present. But we all found ways to stay positive. Fall sports were eventually able to play but had shortened seasons. We got a homecoming week with dress-up days and a coronation on the football field. Although it was not the same as it was in the past, it was a nice sense of normalcy. We stayed in the hybrid model through September and October. We felt as if we were getting closer to the light at the end of the tunnel. But then the light went out. We went into distance learning in November, and it was hard to say the least. Spending hours on your screen each day and having many technical issues was not how we wanted to spend our senior year. We continued into distance learning until January of 2021, our grad year. We went back to the hybrid model and winter sports started. Then it was March 1st, the day that we all got to go back to school every day after almost a year and the first day that the class of 2021 had together. After that, it seemed as if we were getting some of our senior year back. We had spring fling, could go to sporting events, and even the state girls basketball tournament. Spring sports started and prom planning began. If someone told me at the beginning of the year that we got a prom, I would tell them that they are crazy. But we did get a prom. Although prom looked different for us, we got something, and to the 2021 seniors, something is enough. Now we are here, celebrating the ending of not only the longest school year of our lives, but the ending of high school. The situation we were put in was frustrating and not ideal. But the most important thing through this all was to stay positive and make the best of it. If only the class of 2021 got $1 for every time that was said to us. Senior year was mentally exhausting, but we truly did make the best of it and could not have made it without some amazing people. I want to thank Mr. Jones and the rest of the administrative staff for keeping our education and well-being a priority, especially during the pandemic. I want to thank all the teachers, past and present, that helped us learn so many things and sat in Teams meetings talking to a bunch of twos every day. Thank you to the nurses, counselors, bus drivers, janitors, paras, librarians, coaches, and the tech people. You all played a part in our success. I want to thank the class of 2021's parents that had to deal with the many emotions from us and for always supporting us. Most of all, I want to thank the Marshall High School class of 2021. Thank you for all the laughs, cries, occasional homework answers, and memories. I'm truly grateful to spend so much time with all of you and will cherish this time forever. Now, we all move forward with our lives, but we'll always remember our senior year being like no other.
Good evening. My name is Zoe Vorbach, and today it's my pleasure to speak at the 133rd Annual Commencement Ceremony here at Marshall High School. Before I begin, I would be remiss if I did not thank everyone who has joined us today. Our teachers, who have selflessly guided us through the last 4 years towards our graduation. Our parents and guardians, who have offered their unwavering support for years. And everyone else who found a seat in the gym this evening, when just weeks ago you planned on having to watch a live stream from home. On behalf of the class of 2021, I want to share my immense gratitude to all of you. For some of you who know me, it might not come as a surprise that I dropped my name in the hat to be a commencement speaker. Throughout high school, I enjoyed being a part of the Tiger speech team and being in Tiger theater productions. What can I say? I like to talk. But today, as we move through our commencement exercises and leave the gym today as graduates of Marshall High School, I want to invite and encourage all of you to reflect on a different element of both our high school careers and our lives as we move forward, namely, listening. Now, listening is by no means a foreign concept to us. Back in elementary school, teachers reminded us that we have 2 ears but only 1 mouth for good reason. More recently, our ramp-up advisors chastised us for talking during On to College ACT prep with John Baylor, because after all, test day is payday. In our extracurriculars, we turned our listening ears towards coaches and advisors for their wisdom and direction. Sometimes it was an uphill battle to listen. For example, when Apple started selling AirPods, our listening skills took a hit. And when we moved into distance learning for the first time last spring, hopefully we can at least say we made an effort to listen to our online classes. As the year went on, we listened to addresses from local, state, and national leaders, anxiously anticipating the latest updates and changes, for better or worse, that would impact our final year of high school. When there was good news, we listened and celebrated. When there was bad news, we listened and persisted. And finally, today, we'll listen to our names read as we walk across this stage and receive our diplomas. So take a moment to be proud of this ability we've honed. Recognize how significant an accomplishment it is to be able to not just hear, but find value in the words of another, to let go of your expectations or what you think you know, and welcome new knowledge or a different perspective. Learning how to listen is by no means an insignificant or unimportant feat. Listening may not seem as exciting an accomplishment as all the other efforts we've taken on through the last 4 years. State tournament appearances in numerous sports, successful music and drama performances, strong academic achievement, all while navigating a global pandemic, nationwide political unrest, and the strangest school years we've ever seen. But I'd ask you to retrace the steps that got us there. Take a moment to consider how we reached those state tournaments, learned that music, understood the material of those classes. It was our talent and hard work, yes, but so much of it was also listening to the encouragement of parents, the advice of coaches, the support of friends. And it doesn't end here. Listening doesn't stop when the bell rings, when the lectures end and the exams are taken. It will remain with us no matter where our futures lead. A University of Missouri study examined how we spend our time communicating and what skills we use. They found that of this time, we spend about 9% of it writing, 16% reading, 30% speaking, and 45% listening. Our ability to listen accounts for almost half of our time spent communicating with others. So it's not something we should leave in high school. So as we all move into our next life chapters, I invite you to continue to refine your listening skills. Work to not just begrudgingly listen, but eagerly invite the advice of a mentor or a peer. Resist just waiting your turn to talk. Rather, earnestly consider what someone else is saying. In a college lecture, at a new job, with friends, old and new, I urge you to remember how far your listening skills have already taken you, and allow these skills to move you to even greater heights.
Mr. Superintendent, Mr. Board Chair, and members of the school board, it is my pleasure to present the Marshall High School senior class of 2021. These students have met the graduation requirements as prescribed by the Marshall School District and Marshall High School. The school administration is proud to recommend they receive their diplomas at this time. Audience, out of respect for each of the soon-to-be graduates, I ask you to please remain seated until all students have been recognized.
Mild Dew. Ryan Schroeder. Maher Abdallah. Abu Bakr Abdi. Amin Aden. Alexis Aguilera. Soraya Ahmed. Zubair Ahmed. Michael Alcacer. Muna Ali. Sundas Ali. Zachary Allen. Avery Anderson. Addison Arndt. Raina Barr.
Joshua Baker. Amelia Barker. Dominga Batts Castro. Paul Bauer. Camilla Bauman. Isaac Batista. Jackson Bladholm. Noah Bloomy. Jack Bly. Michaela Bosveld. Mitchell Bauman. Sydney Brockman. Emma Byrne. Brooke Carver. Alex Castor.
Justin Cavazos. Ivan Celadon. Caitlin Chapey. Carter Clark. TJ Cordes. Rachel Kudrin. Sean Kermeens. Jacob Cruz. Stephen Curtis. Colby Denson. Adrid Deitz. Chase Douglas. Abby Dubs. Noah Dunn. Mackenzie Disher.
McKenna Eichhoff. Caleb Engler. Evan Estebo. Cole Felson. Clarissa Flores. Blake Fogelson. Rebecca Frisky. Allison Gelster. Dimitri Gergen. Sarah Gergen. Taylor Gilbertson. Tucker Gillow. Abigail Goldtrap. Bethany Greathouse. Rose Elizabeth Hanson.
Morgan Hart. Katie Gunn. Azahar Hassan. Leslie Herr. Alani Hernandez. Jordan Hilgeman. Josephine Holland. Owen Holmberg. Derek Holmgren. Grant Horvath. April 2. Say 2. Ivan Hudson. Jacob Hughes. Isabella Hunsley.
Araceli Ibarra. Muhammad Ismail. Sa'e Thesu John. Natalie Johnson. Dawson Kestelut. Paige Kestelut. Yahya Khalif. Ka Clay. Emma Klein.
Aubrey Biella. Zoe Vorbach. Morgan Klein. Emma Klinken. C. Gao. Sa A Ne, Sir Kepa. Benson Keeker. Bryce Lance. Brady Larson. Avery Leary. James Lohr. Grant Lawaji. Reagan Luther. Olivia Macchio. Kiera Mayer.
Emily Meyer. Diego Mejias. Grace Matheny. Braden Meyer. Ayan Muhammad. Santasuk Mu. Kayla Morris. Samson Mua. Tanner Meyerberg. Corinne Naughton. Courtney Nielsen. Jamaica Nwakma. Abdullahi Omar. Samia Osman. Joseph Paradis.
Gianna Parsa. Jaden Piercy. Emily Pearson. Sophia Perez. Emma Peterson. Isabella Phillips. Kayla Polieski. Jenica Polfleet. Kiana Popowski. Jesse Prashibis. Ariel Ramos. Isaac Redman. Hai Ree. Brett Rainier. Kelly Remy.
Kylie Roberts. Araya Rock. Brevin Runya. Eli Salisbury. Ashton Schnauzer. Kieran Schreifels. Benjamin Shook. Brock Schultz. Brittany Seifert. Kaylin Sieber. Keegan Stensrud. Kaylee Stuckey. Rylan Sikora. Margaret Tabaka. Emma Timaeus.
Mula Fa. Thomas Thordson. Caitlin Tim. Anthony Toulouse. Jalen Tykwinski. Lillian Van Bronckhorst. Tristan Vandeveer. Spencer Bang. Levi Van Koolen. Hannah Verkindren. Kong Meng Vu. Wesley Vu. Ashley Wall. Spencer Wambeck. Kendra Webb.
Abigail Wendorf. Landon Weary. Peyton Whitesit. Hudson Will. Amaya Williams. Jessica Weifels. Ray Yang. Tangzong Yang. Yoshi Yang.
Out of respect for the graduates, we would ask that you please remain seated until all graduates have exited the gym. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Marshall High School graduating class of 2021.